All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life.
ESPN Kansas City, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM, 1510.com, and Facebook live in studio on a very nice Wednesday afternoon. Blake Schneider's joining us behind the board. Darren,
yes, sir.
How are you doing? You got your shopping done yet?
I got some of it done. Not gonna reveal it, but yeah, I got some of it done.
Same boat.
Yeah, because I got that Amazon delivery. Your order's been delivered, and got something else coming tomorrow. So yeah, I've got some shopping done. Got some more to do tomorrow. Just FYI for our listeners, we will not be on tomorrow or Friday. Friday, of course, because of Christmas Eve, but Thursday we won't be because we have some shopping that we have to do that Friday won't allow us to do. And plus, we got some other things got to do as well, because realizing that the barbershops are not going to be open on Saturday, I got to get this wig and everything chopped up before then. So yeah, so got a lot to do before this weekend. So we're going to be predicting the week slate of 16 games today. And then, of course, Christmas games on the NBA, depending on what gets paused, moved around, or even if the Chiefs play on Sunday, if not Monday or something. So we'll see how all this works out.
Good news here. Willie Gay, Josh Gordon, they've returned. There was 2 guys off of the Chiefs' extensive COVID list now. So big news there for Willie Gay Jr. and Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon week looks like that's coming up. But would we really be a guy if we weren't struggling the past couple days before Christmas to get stuff done? That's just the most guy sports thing I think I've ever like all those commercials of those dudes being bumbling, they're forgetful. That's literally what we're doing right now.
Yeah, that part is true, but I'd rather have it that way than any other way at the moment.
Yeah, like I'm not going to go in October or September and go Christmas shopping. That ain't happening.
Well, look, and I'll be honest. I mean, a part of me would rather just stay at home and, get a good get a good day's rest, because I know I'm generally up all the time. And so, again, got to get stuff done. We do have plans for the weekend, and, some people get to travel. Some of us have to work, So, while I'm off Saturday, I still have to work on Sunday, because the Chiefs, unless they move the game between Sunday to Monday or Tuesday, some of us have to work 6-7 days out the week.
All right. With Willie Gay Jr. and Josh Gordon coming back, that's 2 positives. We've had,
the question would be
two good things.
Whether or not Chris Jones, why isn't he? Maybe that's tomorrow.
Yeah, that could be a tomorrow. Again, there's so much going to happen from now on Wednesday until Sunday, unless the game gets pushed back. There's so many different scenarios that could happen. Is Travis Kelce going to play? Is Rashad Fenton? Is L'Jarius Sneed going to be back? There's so many question marks.
Well, L'Jarius Sneed returned to practice today.
He returned to practice last week.
Well, yeah, but he had an incident. So.
No, I know, but he returned to practice, and originally a lot of speculation was that L'Jarius Sneed was going to play, and then it came out about the day before he wasn't. So maybe he's back with the team. I'm just saying there's a lot of unknowns right now. Are more players going to start popping up on the list, on the COVID list?
Well, they didn't have any today, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign for today. Obviously, people have to keep in mind that Josh Gordon and Willie Gay, they were on last week's.
Yeah.
So, so their time, 9-10 days should be coming to a close, especially once, with the new protocols. Now, Chris Jones could possibly be off tomorrow. So now the other players, again, they have to test negative at least one time in a 24-hour period before they can return to practice. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So how big is Josh Gordon going to be if things stand like they are?
Well, I'll put it like this. All the reps that he's gotten in practice and all the reps that he's gotten in the games where they haven't targeted him, he will see his fair share this weekend if by chance Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are not able to go. He's been starting, so it's not like he's been in the starting lineup. But now it forces Patrick, if he hadn't already, it forces Patrick now to utilize some of the other wide receivers. I think we talked a little bit about it yesterday. Last year during the season, he would I don't say he would get criticized, but there would be players that I would see in the barbershop talking about how they could have better stats if Patrick didn't spread the ball around so much. That was the big thing, how he was spreading the ball around last year. This year it seems like he's focusing on those two receivers. And again, I don't know wherein if players who have been in the system somehow their production drops. I don't know if it's more so they just forgot how to catch football all of a sudden, forgot the routes that they've been running the last 2-3 seasons. I'm not sure. But in this particular game, if the way things are going where Tyreek and Travis cannot play, again, I talked about it before, this is the opportunity where they always say next man up. You are able to put something on film. Look, if you're McCole Hardman and if you're even to an extent Josh Gordon, but Josh Gordon's going to be held to a different standard besides McCole and DeMarcus Robinson, you need to be able to show that you can be a quality wide receiver because, one, if you're McCole, you're going to want a contract extension where they can go to negotiations after this season because you would have completed 3 seasons. And then DeMarcus Robinson, whether the team brings you back or not, you're on a 1-year deal. You need to put something on film so other teams can see you and so you can make yourself perhaps more valuable to the Kansas City Chiefs. I haven't seen that from them this season. This is an opportunity for them to be able to put something on film in this game and then also help contribute to a team win. Again, what will it say about you if without Travis Kelce, if without Tyreek Hill, you, DeMarcus, you, McCole, are the main reason, one of the main reasons why Kansas City is able to outlast Pittsburgh in Sunday's game, inching them taking them one step closer to clinching not only the division title, but the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, this is going to be massive. Again, we don't know. We won't know until Sunday, realistically, at what time is it? 10:30. Because an hour and a half before is when the official inactive list comes out. No, it's at 3:25. So at
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. It's not ideal. At least they have an extra 3 hours, huh? But Robinson has not shown anything that gives me a lot of confidence. I thought he was going to get that Chris Conley type contract. That never happened, and I don't think that's in the cards anymore. I think McCole Hardman has shown that can be. I don't want to bash McCole Hardman because I think he can be useful in certain roles.
You bashed him enough over the last 2 seasons.
No, but he can be useful in certain roles. He's not going to be a legitimate starting, what you expect starting. He's not Terry McLaurin. He's not going to be DK Metcalf. He is who he is, which is a specialty guy, but that can still be useful. He can be used out of the slot. He can be used for end arounds, but it's going to be difficult because his role is going to have to expand on Sunday if Tyreek's out. They drafted him to be the Tyreek replacement. That was the initial thought process. This is his one chance. He's had a couple. His best chance to show that he is the Tyreek Hill, quote-unquote, replacement, that it wasn't a busted draft pick.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, they've had opportunities. If you remember 2019, and I remember well being at all the games, there were situations where Tyreek Hill got injured in the first game against Jacksonville. And then I think, if I remember the next game, I want to say that was in Oakland, I think. But all of those receivers had a chance to have their own big games. And if I remember correctly, DeMarcus Robinson had the big game in Oakland.
Yep. Huge game in
Oakland. Yeah, and McCole had so it was like everybody had their chance to put something on film where they were able to step them. So this is 2019, so this was the year that they won the Super Bowl. So they all played a factor in the game. I think Travis Kelce might have gone down for a game or so as well. So players were able to step up and they were able to contribute to the team's success. Again, it's going to be vital. Now, last year, I don't remember players having those type of. I think Patrick might have got injured in one of the games, but if I remember correctly, they didn't really have the type of injuries last year. I'm looking at the receiving core versus what they've had. Perhaps this is COVID this year, but compared to what they've had 2 seasons ago. Again, last year Patrick was complaining. Well, I know I was complaining because looking at the bets and stuff where he was spreading the ball around. And and so it's like I can never find the right receiver who's going to do something because, damn it, Patrick is throwing it to all the running backs, all the receivers, all the tight ends, and from time to time we throw it to the other teams. So I'm like, bro, I need some help here. Again, for us, for Kansas City, for the Chiefs fans, this is the type of game that you want to see. Again, you don't know how COVID is going to affect the Chiefs between now and kickoff, whether it's moved, whether it's Sunday or whatever. listening to Andy Reid on the call today, seems as though, they're looking to go Sunday 325, regardless of what happens, the rest of the week. So he says that there's no preliminary discussion. There's no discussion in the background with the league about moving the game. So, we can only take the man at his word unless something else happens, and call him a liar some other time. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you want to see DeMarcus, you want to see, I believe, Noah Gray. You want to see some of these other players step up and show why A, you deserve to be in Kansas City still, and B, why you think they should, possibly get some more money. If you're DeMarcus, if you're DeMarcus Robinson, I don't know if you'll be here next year anyway, but at least on your 1-year deal, you want to put something on film for other teams to see. Because this is my point about DeMarcus, some of them last year, is that you've had opportunities. And yes, so there was some injuries last year, now that I think about it. You had the opportunity to step up, to be, when Sammy went down, you had the opportunity to take the load off of Travis, take the load off of Tyreek, and you couldn't really do it. Why? Because you're back here. Because you didn't have any of the offers.
Yeah.
And so the Chiefs were able to get you on probably a veteran's minimum $1 million plus or whatever, to where that's all you could get. Now, obviously, because the playbook, and the Chiefs couldn't really go out there and get a second wide receiver to offset Sammy's absence. They're like, okay, it's better to go with the devil you know than someone you don't know. Can't do that this time around. So
the thing is, though, Kansas City's backup wide receivers, they all have good attributes in certain roles, but Kansas City doesn't have that consistent pass catcher. Like Demarcus Robinson's very good at blocking. For a wide receiver, Demarcus Robinson's very good at blocking, doing a lot of little things.
But let's also mention Byron Pringle as well.
Byron Pringle's.
I don't want to.
But Byron Pringle's solid, but he doesn't have the game-changing speed or the breakaway ability that a lot of other wide receivers have. He doesn't have the incredible hands. He's not extremely tall. He's not a red zone threat. He's a very solid guy. He's a very solid player. But no one's going to call him a red zone threat. No one's saying.
But you know what though?
You're throwing the ball up you're not throwing an end zone fade to Byron Pringle.
But to your point, solid is all Kansas City would need on Sunday to be, again, without Travis, without Tyreek. Andy will talk about not having to change the game plan, but you're going to have to change the game plan because you're not having the same type of impact players that can change the nature of the ball game, as we saw last week against the Los Angeles Chargers. With the DeMarcus, with the McCole, with even a Byron Pringle, again, I think you can still be successful because again, at the core end, still going to come down to blocking, running, receiving, pass catching, things of that nature, not shooting yourself in the foot with penalties and doing dumb stuff. I think the Kansas City can be successful in that manner with the receivers that they'll have to be able to step up if Tyreek and Travis can't go Sunday.
I mean, hell, all you got to do is score 20 points and you probably win. Steelers can't score. Steelers offense might be the worst offense in the NFL. And that's not really me being.
I think Jacksonville might.
Dude, I would probably. Man, I've watched a lot of Steelers games this year.
I watched a lot of Jacksonville games.
So maybe we're going up against each other. But the Steelers offense, every time I watch it, it's incredible how.
I've seen the Steelers score 30 plus points
twice this year. Twice.
How many have you seen the Jaguars do?
Maybe one. But just the Steelers for me. Their offense is so bad because Big Ben can't throw the ball anymore. His arm is horrendous. They have two good wide receivers and a good tight end. But Peter Freiermuth, I think he might be out with a concussion still. He's still questionable.
I know they had a couple of players on the COVID. I don't think anyone.
That was concussion work. That was from last game. Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool are very solid wide receivers, but Chase Claypool has proven you can get in his dome and he'll crumble. And Big Ben can't give the ball to Deontay Johnson anywhere downfield with some sort of consistency for him to really shine. Najee Harris has shown nothing as far as vision, as far as the ability to fall forward. The offensive line is atrocious and gives Big Ben no time, nor holes for Najee Harris. I mean,
I was going to say the offensive line is the reason why Najee Harris can't.
I think the offensive line is the biggest issue for the Steelers. They said, hey, our offensive line's bad, so let's spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Well, that's not going to work because you have to have someone blocking. Just if the Chiefs can get any sort of pressure, Big Ben's not mobile, and Najee Harris has nowhere to go. If Chris Jones is back, I think that's the big one. If Chris Jones is back,
That's going to be key. Look, that's the key right there. If Chris Jones is back, then at least you got your front four. Unless obviously COVID has other ideas, but if you can get that front four in there with Chris Jones, I'm with you on the pressure. But as we've had this discussion over the last week when we talked about Josh Allen and whether he's top 5 or not, again, the Steelers' back is up against the wall.
Yeah,
they had the big win obviously last week against Tennessee, and so. We can't, Chiefs can't take anything for granted because again, with Ben,
they're above 500. Well, they're what 7-6-1.
Yes, but here's the other key too. We pretty much believe this is going to be Big Ben's last year, I think it's safe to say, if that's the case, he only perhaps has 3 games left. This game and the 2 other games if they don't make it to the playoffs. That's why you can't count this team out to say what Big Ben can and can't do, because if he only has 3 games left, he's got nothing to lose. That's what will make them so dangerous on Sunday, especially with the lack of weapons they can't seem to have offensively. To where he might not be able to get the ball down the field enough, but if he's consistent or if he connects on the few times he does go down the field, that's where you have to be concerned about. So again. As much as I love, I love Mike Tomlin. I take Mike Tomlin over Andy Reid.
Oh no!
No, I would, but that's
you would take Mike Tomlin over Andy Reid. That is one of the worst takes I think I've ever heard.
It's not. I've been consistent in my.
I like Mike Tomlin a lot, but
you like him. I love.
There's no chance you're taking Mike Tomlin over Andy Reid. That cannot be a real.
Andy Reid can be our OC, but I would take Mike Tomlin because I look. Nothing against Andy Reid. I'm with you. I just like Mike Tomlin better.
What has Mike Tomlin shown? I like Mike Tomlin, but what has Mike Tomlin shown over his career that he
can win a Super Bowl?
That he can win be above?
I said that he can win a Super Bowl. I'm on your side, Darren.
No, you're not going to.
I'm not necessarily on your side, but I'm on your side.
Tell me Mike Tomlin is a better head coach than Andy Reid. You're not going to tell me that.
Hold on. Who said anything about being a better head coach?
Why would you want a worse head coach?
Well, first of all, he's not a worse head coach. He's going to be a Hall of Fame coach just as much as Andy Reid is. So I'm going to need you to take that.
Andy Reid's going down as like a top 5 all-time head coach.
First of all, he's not top 5. First of all, take the bass out your voice as it relates to Mike Tomlin, because you're not going to disrespect my dude on the air.
That's not disrespecting. I love Mike Tomlin. He's a great head coach.
You've been disrespectful because you're trying to question.
No, he's not better than Andy Reid. He's not.
Who said anything about being better? That's my preference. Because mofo, because this is my opinion. That's who I like. Now, hold on. If I said I want Bill Belichick over Andy Reid, what you gonna say?
I would say you probably have a case.
Go ahead, Blake.
I was gonna say I don't like your talk on Najee Harris there, Sterling. The man's got over 1,300 yards, with 9 touchdowns this year.
Legitimately,
he's the only good thing they have going. But don't say he's bad running back.
Up. He's
1,300 total yards,
3.6 yards per carry.
With a bad O-line, which is what we already discussed. But you're talking bad about a man who's
3.6 yards per carry.
100 yards this year.
3.6 yards per carry.
On what O-line?
My point is,
and when they have to throw, they're always losing.
The point is the offensive line makes the run game, and that's why you spend in a first-round draft pick.
I agree with you.
But my point is the Chiefs will be able to handle Najee Harris. He's only had 2 games this year, 2 games above 100 yards, and I think only 3 games that he's had more than 4 yards per carry.
I just felt the disrespect was unfounded. It sounded a little harsher than it should have been.
Give me over 4.
Okay.
Is he doing it?
I'm not saying this is not me backing that Najee Harris is going to carry the Steelers to a win over the Chiefs on his back, especially with that team that's falling apart. But
his vision has been pretty poor as well this year. Steelers are seemingly always.
So let me reel you back in. Going back to our original conversation again.
Of why you want Mike Tomlin over Andy Reid.
No. Our original conversation was about Ben Roethlisberger.
The corpse of him.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that he can still summon up the corpse because he only has 3 games left. So I'm saying let's not presume that the Chiefs, even with their replacement players, are going to just be able to waltz over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, sure. So, it's not going to be just an easy game, especially without the Chiefs' offensive weapons. No one has shown on Kansas City outside of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce that they've shown the ability to step up with any sort of consistency.
And in Pittsburgh, they still have T.J. Watt.
And that's Steelers' defense has been surprisingly pretty bad, but they do get turnovers and they get a lot of sacks.
What do the Chiefs
Hayward, TJ Watt have been incredible.
And what do the Chiefs do?
They've turned the ball over a lot.
Okay. So
Minka Fitzpatrick and Edwards. They got about 4 guys who are, I would say, really solid, but the rest of the Steelers defense has been a disappointment, frankly. They were supposed to be a top 5 unit, and they've not played like a top 5 unit. You take TJ Watt out of that defense, they're to be horrific. So the key is, can they block TJ Watt, double him all you can, do whatever you can to take him out of the game? Hopefully you can stop Hayward. The interior offensive line for Kansas City has been very, very good at that this season.
Key for Kansas City is always just not give the ball away. If they don't give the ball away, then, and as Patrick said, as long as we execute on offense, or as long as we execute on offense, then,
But if Tyreek Hill's out, they're not going deep to him as often. They're going to throw those bleep at Tyreek's down there somewhere. He's not doing that to D-Rob. So maybe he'll take care of the ball more because he knows he can't get away with some of the stuff he could with Tyreek and Travis.
He might chance it with McCole.
I hope not.
I don't say he might. I didn't say he was. I said he might.
Again, I think this is one of those games where it's going to be ugly. You don't have to go out and try and put up 42 on the Steelers. Go out and get the win. Do what you've done 6 weeks. They've won ugly now, basically since they were 3-4 outside of the Raiders games. They've won pretty ugly.
No, not really. No.
The 13-7 game against Green Bay. The 19-9 game against – what about the Giants game?
No. Here's the thing. Giants game was ugly. But what they did against the Packers, what they did against the other team you just mentioned.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
Those were ugly wins.
But
they were wins.
Well, no. What I'm saying is they jumped on top. They got the lead, and then defensively, they were able to – now you can say –
you're not going to throw 42. The key is taking care of the football. The key is to take care of the football. You don't have to go out and try and force the ball downfield to McCole. Don't try and force the ball downfield to D-Rob or Byron. My point is, you can win ugly. They've proven they can win ugly. Do it again. Just don't give the ball away. We can't have the Chiefs going out there, throwing 2 interceptions, having 2 fumbles, because that's how Tennessee lost. They had 4 turnovers, Tennessee did, and they still almost won that football game.
What does that remind you of? Chiefs and Chargers?
Exactly. Just don't turn the ball over 4 times. You win the game. If the Chiefs don't turn the ball over 4 times against the Steelers, they will win the football game. That's all you have to do.
We will look at this game on the other side when we have Frank in, but I do want to look at last night's game before we go to break. Eagles, now, hit on both of those games. Of course, it was on NBA games. The only one I missed last night was Minnesota. I was pissed. I'm like, come on, man. Had the Minnesota.
You had the under for Rams and Seahawks?
No. I did the
money
spread.
line.
No. I did the point spread.
Okay.
Yes, which they both hit. I was nervous about Washington, Philly, but looking at those games, Cowboys could have clinched the division last night. Washington didn't pull through. But the Eagles, though, Jalen Hurts, again, I told you he was going to play well. 3 touchdowns in that game led them to a 27-17 win over the Washington football team. Cooper Kupp, he's that guy in L.A. Rams were big, 20-10 over Seattle. Your thoughts on last night's games?
Yeah, Rams, I thought we were going to do a little bit more. I thought the Six were going to do more offensively as well. That was a low-scoring game. I was not expecting that.
Especially the first half.
Cooper Kupp was just he has just some sort of connection with Matt Stafford. It's incredible. Matt Stafford didn't really play great, except for when he went and targeted Cooper Kupp. I don't know how teams cannot take him away. He's obviously very shifty. He's a great job of getting open. Must be an incredible route runner. But Cooper Kupp, what can you say? 9 catches, 13 targets, and he's getting doubled a ton.
Well, he's not getting doubled that much because he's a slot.
2
receiver.
Touchdowns.
He's not getting it because he's a slot, so he's able to move around. But
it's incredible.
I would say though, man, between he and Devontae Adams, they, like you talked about that relationship. That's a relationship that Devontae Adams has with Aaron Rodgers, which I can assure you, Devontae Adams is not signing any type of long-term deal until he knows where Aaron Rodgers, because I think wherever Aaron Rodgers go, Devontae Adams is going with him. And I'm pretty sure that Aaron Rodgers is going to dictate before you sign, if you sign me, you got to sign him, or we're quote-unquote a package deal, because that to me right now, I put that on a greater – I think they have a greater relationship on the field as you see. Yeah. Just as much – well, I think they have a greater relationship than even Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, because they played longer together. But also Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. I mean, and Patrick Mahomes. I think, if I had to go with ranking, I go with the Green Bay, then I go with the Matthew Stafford, and then I will go with the Chiefs because man, they're just hitting on all cylinders. And when the rubber meets the road, when you got to get that first down, when you got to get that play that play extended, or that series extended, those are two go-to receivers that have not missed for their teams.
It's incredible. It goes to show the other team can know what's going to happen, but if you have that sort of connection, the offense always has the advantage, right?
Yeah.
They always know when they're going to break. It's what makes those guys so special. It's why it's so frustrating. Like just going back to McCole, for example, McCole has a lot of the physical traits and tools, the quickness. He has the speed, the ability it makes you think that he could be just a phenomenal route runner. But when you don't see it come together, when you see him not on the same page as Patrick, it's frustrating because you know he has that ability. You know it's there somewhere, and it just those very rare few, just they're always on the same page with their quarterback. Cooper Kupp and Stafford, and obviously Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
I'm gonna tell you what's frustrating, and you actually did bring up McCole, which is good because that's where I was going. It's frustrating because you didn't really hear about Cooper Kupp last year, or this time you hear about him, but obviously it was Robert Woods, it was D Jack and some of these other players who bigger names or whatever. But then Matthew Stafford comes in and he kind of builds that relationship with him. Again, it's frustrating because Cooper Kupp kind of exploded and came out of nowhere because this is his first time being a Pro Bowl player, and so it's like, McCole, that could be you. That is supposed to be you. Like Cooper Kupp probably was always a good route runner and stuff like that, but because you had Jared Goff throwing you the football, you may not. And I'm not trying to cast aspersions on, but I'm just saying. I mean, that's just the situation you find yourself in, and then also. The year they went to the Super Bowl, I don't know if Cooper Kupp was there, but also it was a different team because you had Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
But again, for McCole, bro, all you have to do is look if Cooper Kupp can do it, where he's about to be a Triple Crown winner. Seriously, I mean, he took the onus on himself to make sure in the offseason he did what he needed to do to become that guy. Now, nobody knew this was gonna. He was going to explode like this, but he still put in the work.
Yeah. There's
no excuse. And really, this goes for anyone, for real, if you play in the league. There's no excuse because you get paid. You ain't got no other job to do. I mean, seriously, I mean, you don't have no other job to do. I know you like to play PlayStation, Fortnite, stuff like this, but, bro, Cooper Kupp out here, I mean, he out there getting, as you like to say, getting buckets.
1,625 yards.
About to be the first receiver with 2,000 yards, finna break Megatron's record.
Yeah, 14 touchdowns, 122 receptions. I agree with Lamar, I think, on Facebook. I don't agree with Jonathan Taylor's number 2. But if you made a case for Cooper Kupp being MVP, I would 100% buy it. I wouldn't disagree. Triple Crown, 1,625 yards through how many games is that? 14 games. A touchdown a game average. He's by far been the best wide receiver in the NFL, and it's not even close, stat-wise.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Well, look, let's take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll be joined by the godfather of Kansas City sports, Mr. Frank Bolins. We'll look at this weekend's slate of games in the NFL, and, of course, the Christmas slate of games in the NBA. Man, I cannot wait till Saturday gets here. You're listening to Darren and Sterling right here on ESPN Kansas City.
Clogged drain, leaky faucet or toilet, dealing with a plumbing emergency? Homeowners who care call Kate's. And if you call today, the service call is free. Call Kate's at 913-888-4470 or visit katesheatingandcooling.com to schedule your plumbing appointment today. And the service call is free. 913-888-4470. Kate's Heating, Cooling, and now Plumbing. Service makes the difference.
Serving overseas was just the beginning. We might be home from war, but our mission continues in communities all across the country. It's why we're out there in times of peace and crisis, providing meals to the hungry and supplies to the sick. It's why we're giving strength to those who are too weak and bringing resources to those without them. Service doesn't stop when we're done serving. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of our future and getting back to what we love as more and more people get their COVID-19 vaccine. At the American Lung Association, we have science-based public health information you can trust to make a decision about the COVID-19 vaccination for yourself. Visit lung.org or call 1-800-LUNG-USA for more information.
Let's talk about America, not taxes or tweets or the issues that divide us, but how incredible our country is. Whether you come home to a crowded city street or sleepy small town, everyone deserves to live in a clean, green, and thriving community. We are Keep America Beautiful, the nonprofit working with millions of people like you to end littering, improve recycling, and beautify communities. Learn more at KAB.org. Together, we can do beautiful things.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of our future and getting back to what we love as more and more people get their COVID-19 vaccine. At the American Lung Association, we have science-based public health information you can trust to make a decision about the COVID-19 vaccination for yourself. Visit lung.org or call 1-800-LUNG-USA for more information.
Welcome back to Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM, 1510.com, Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, Tiki Live, TV, all that good stuff, Roku. We are joined. Well, first of all, let me give a shout out to Seren Petro. He and Lebo think I'm both crazy because I'm still going to Cincinnati and Denver. They're like, well, it's stuff virtual. Trips are paid for, man. I'm not passing those up. It is what it is. Hotels paid for. I'm not passing those up. It's a weekend of rest and relaxation. Chance to get out the house and play. But we are joined by a very special guest. He's one of the oldest members here at the station. But
we mean one of them. I am the oldest guy at the station.
He is the godfather. He's not only the godfather of soul, because he does have some soul and some rhythm, and he's also the godfather of Kansas City sports. We are joined by the great Frank Ball. Frank, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And I heard it was Darren and Sterling. It wasn't Sterling and Darren.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's Darren's show and not yours.
Okay, Frankie.
Okay, so sit back and shut up, and we'll take the rest
I
of
got
the
my
show.
coffee right. That's fine. I'll sit back.
Put your mic up some.
Frankie B.
Put your mic up some.
It's literally right here.
We'll pull it up some more.
It's literally right here.
See?
Well,
That's a back here situation. It's a back here situation.
I don't like the
Darren-
slander being thrown my way.
And Darren tells you what to do, and you do
Oh,
it.
no chance,
That's another.
Frank.
It's another one.
Hey,
there we go.
Frank, how many naps have you taken today?
3. Just 3
Jealous.
quick ones. Yeah, just
Sterling,
little cat.
You will leave our guests alone.
I'm
Otherwise,
jealous.
I will have you sit in your booster chair so you can reach up to the microphone.
It's nice.
All right. So first things first, Frank,
Yes.
just your thoughts on this whole COVID outbreak, so to speak, with the Kansas City Chiefs. Your thoughts, obviously, people have said that the Chiefs have caught a lot of luck on the 7-game win streak, where, obviously Aaron Rodgers, the Cowboys losing players, but now it seems it's caught up with Kansas City. They go into Sunday's game against Pittsburgh Steelers. As of now, still taking place at 3:25 at Arrowhead Stadium. Your thoughts on how this might play out between now and Sunday's kickoff?
There's no telling at the moment. Chris Jones is still off from last week,
Yeah.
so that tells me he still has symptoms. Because if Chris Jones is vaccinated, all he would need then would be one positive test.
Well, he falls into
I'm sorry.
the other one.
One negative.
Why does the medical field do that, by the way?
Yeah. one negative test. Okay.
Negative is good.
So all he would need basically, if he is vaccinated, to have one negative test, and then he'd be eligible again.
Now,
And under the new protocol, that is the way it looks, right? The NFL says, what's the NFL say? They changed their protocol. Vaccinated players are returning quicker, but the unvaccinated still are out for 10 days. If they get a positive, Harrison Butker is not vaccinated, and you will not see him Sunday.
Still a little upset about it. We were talking about that yesterday. I could have sworn.
I don't think Daniel Sorensen's vaccinated either.
Yeah, if he misses a game,
you think it's because the
Mormon?
Game.
Yeah, but see, here's the deal: you do the shuffle like you had to do last week against the LA Chargers, and you've got to move Tyrann Mathieu around. Someone's got to play back there, okay?
And I think Armani Watts is on the list now too.
And L'Jarius Sneed was out, and so there were guys, and guys have to fill in who are familiar with what is going on.
Though.
He did. He did. Hey, I'm not going to argue your point, but you're still going to need guys like that to play.
Agreed.
These other guys are not there. So.
Agreed.
Frank, have you thought about suiting up?
No.
Okay.
Too old. But the deal is, it couldn't have happened for all practical purposes against a better opponent. Because this opponent a lot of times can't get out of its own way. Now, I know they really come on in second halves of these football games because these other teams have a tendency to turn the ball over to them, and they come in really on strong in the fourth quarters of the football games that they have been winning, but they still are a shadow of anything we've ever known from the Pittsburgh Steelers before. And I just think it's a good opponent to have, and you have them where? You have them at Arrowhead.
My only pushback to that, and Stu and I were talking about in the last segment, is that if this is to be Ben's last season, as has been reported, and let's say, for example, they don't make the playoffs because they lose the Kansas City Chiefs or the last couple of ball games, he still has enough to summon up from the corpse to have a good enough game to beat Kansas City on Sunday.
I won't disagree with you there. Okay,
he has that's my main concern when it comes to Pittsburgh and Ben Roethlisberger. Because yes, I'm with you that this is the best team to play because what we've seen on film, it doesn't look like they can score a lot of points.
Right,
but we saw what they did that Sunday Night Football against the Chargers, where Ben woke up from the dead. I mean, and again, with their backs up against the wall, they still feel like they do have an outside chance of making the playoffs. There, Ben could still summon something up there, and that's what makes me nervous about this game, especially with so many players that could possibly be out.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Jacksonville, Detroit, Houston, they can still win football games. So Steelers come in here on Sunday, and you take them too lightly, you start turning the ball over, especially when you think about, well, what if Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce aren't here on Sunday? Okay, so now all of a sudden, we're going to put Noah Gray or Blake Bell in there.
Well, Blake's
on the list.
Blake Bell, but I mean, Noah Gray's going to play.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, so and now who becomes your number one target is going to be McCole Hardman. And what does McCole Hardman do? If he catches it, he has a tendency to fumble it. If he or it bounces off his hands and it goes bounding into the air into somebody else's arm. So you don't feel real confident about that. And if it is a close game, you have no Harrison Butker to kick. Yeah. You're bringing some guy off the scrap heap to kick on Sunday. It's anything could happen to you in that. But you have to figure when you have the quarterback, when you have Patrick Mahomes, you've got a pretty good chance to win a football game, especially at home. But could the Steelers win? Hell yeah, the Steelers could win. Absolutely, they could. Cincinnati could beat them in 2 weeks. Denver could beat them in the final week of the season. You might not need that game, but then again, you might need that game at the end of the season. You'd hope you wouldn't, so you could play Mahomes and company about a half and then rest them. Then you have another whole week off. Everybody comes back healthy or whatever. But I think the timing of the COVID thing is great to get it out of the way.
Get it out
of the way before the end of the season and you start a playoff.
Are you talking like a chickenpox situation?
Absolutely.
Talking like a little chickenpox.
Yeah, well, as long as it's not smallpox, you're going to be just fine, okay? So just go from there.
Hey, he was there. He knows.
You're doggone right. Know what that can do to you. Just burn the house down. That's right. That's it.
Darrell Williams, wide receiver 2. That's what we're going to see. We're going to see Darrell Williams.
I do want to ask you, because I talked about this on earlier this week, because of how COVID is running wild, would you be opposed if, this is a suggestion that I had, if Clark and them rented out Sheraton or the Marriott or someplace and house the team and the staff if they came to the agreement to do such, to do just that between now and the end of the playoff run, to make sure that you don't have another type of outbreak or situation like that, to where you can be focusing all in on the task at hand.
That'd be tough to get the Players Association to agree to that, or even your own players.
Well, your own
players. They're going to want to go home.
No, but what I'm saying, the Saints did it last year. The Cowboys also did it last year. So I'm saying, so it can be done. But again, that's why I said if they all agree to it, because because it's not mandated and a decision. I think Jerry Jones is probably the only person who mandates anything with the Cowboys, regardless of what the Players Association does. I'm just thinking that they made the sacrifices last year to do whatever it takes to try to run it back, knowing that you now got a number 1 seed, and if you can get past Pittsburgh, if you stay isolated to where kiss your mama, kiss your girlfriend, kiss your wife, kiss your side chick goodbye, that hey, we got to focus at hand. After the Super Bowl, we can go back out and do whatever we're going to do.
You're talking about the end of December until the end of February.
But what are you trying to do, Frank? You're trying to win Super Bowl, right?
Valentine's Day.
The guys
wouldn't
even consider this. Players wouldn't even, the majority. And if you don't get the whole team to agree, there's no sense doing it, because the guy comes back and forth from practice all the time, comes back and forth from home.
Patrick made that sacrifice. Patrick stayed in the hotel.
He didn't have a baby though.
Well, his wife was having one on. I mean, his girlfriend's having one on the way. I mean,
that's not a live baby. That's saying, hey, I don't want to have to keep feeding her. But you also didn't
want to bring it home for her to get sick either, though. So I'm saying, but what I'm saying is that, again, I just think that if that's something that was discussed in the locker room, and I mean, again, at the end of the day, I think if you try to win Super Bowl, you're going to make whatever sacrifices that you need to make, because they did it last year. They did it last year.
They won't do it.
Okay, they might not. I just think that
I'm just saying that they won't do it.
Well, looking ahead, because we do have to pick these games because we're off tomorrow, Friday. Frank, who wins? Pittsburgh, Kansas City.
Kansas City, very low-scoring football game.
Oh, really?
If these guys are out, I'd say 2017, 17-14, something of that nature. Close game, way closer than a 10-point.
Think Andy Reid sticks to the run game?
Oh, gosh, yeah, heck yeah.
When has Andy Reid ever done that?
I'm only kidding. The team that you'd love to stick to would have, if you're a Steeler fan, would be Pittsburgh. But Najee Harris, as highly as they drafted him or whatever, he has not done it for Pittsburgh this year. Their running game, I realize that, but they have no running game. Okay, what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they don't have an offensive line. You can't run again.
No, wait. They have no running game. I don't care what the reason is. They have no running game in Pittsburgh. So that's really going to hurt them when you have to rely on Ben Roethlisberger. He does get rid of the ball quick. He's tougher to sack than you think, because you can't get to him quick enough.
The heft, too. Okay, he's just a sturdy guy.
He's just a big old guy, and you get down around his waist or what, you're not going to bring him down. But he gets rid of the ball quickly. He's got some weapons. Okay, Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I think he's a great football coach.
I told you he's great. Okay. Don't get him going.
Okay, I don't care about that. But I'm just saying, I think he's a great football coach, and I think he'll have him ready to play, and I think they're playing for their playoff lives.
That's what makes them dangerous.
But I still believe the Chiefs will win. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, and if it's low-scoring, it's going to be close.
Sterling?
Chiefs 23-14. I think it's a low-scoring game as well. Like I said, the whole last segment was basically talking about how Najee Harris, that run game, can't get anything going. 3.6 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Big Ben, again. Yeah, tough to bring down. I do like Deontay Johnson a lot. Deontay Johnson is a hell of a football player, and he's very good in short plays to spring him open for long plays. If Peter, Freiermuth, if he's out because of concussion, another weapon out for him. They just don't have no firepower offensive for the Steelers to get it done. Again, Chiefs 23-14.
I like the Chiefs in this game. I don't like a close game, because a close game, anything can happen, because if it's that close, that means Patrick's probably turning the ball over. And that's something that I'm not comfortable with. So I'm going to go 28-13 Chiefs. I think Roethlisberger gets one touchdown. I think they kick a couple field goals. I think the Chiefs, because all they're going to need the kicker to do is just kick extra points. I think if I'm Kansas City, I like what they
dream.
No. You watch Andy Reid become Brandon Staley this week. Every fourth time from the 50 end, we're going for the 2-point conversion. We're going for 2 points. We're doing everything.
The thing is, I'm for it.
I'll be for that. This time around, I'll be for it.
Butker can't even kick the extra point, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, Butker can't kick it, and Tommy Thompson. I don't know if he's ever kicked the extra point, but so I got Chiefs winning. I'm taking the under. I don't even know what the point spread is, but it can't be good. But
I think is it 40? It's not 40.
Pulling it up. Pulling it up.
No, it can't be that high.
Yeah, I would go.
I forget.
I go finish
44.5.
I knew it was.
I was still going there. I got 28-4. I got 2013, so that's 41 points. So,
but who knows? By the time the lists come out, it could drop. It could go up.
As long as Patrick is on the list, we're fine.
Yeah,
we have a chance. Thursday night's game, you got the 49ers against Tennessee. Tennessee, of course, lost last week to the Steelers, which helped keep Kansas City number one in the AFC. Who wins this game?
Two desperate teams. 49ers have their primary player, and the Tennessee Titans do not.
Yep. They're number 6 in the NFC in the playoff race right now.
Yeah, so I think the 49ers win the game, a close one. Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, I got the Niners. They've done a really good job as far as getting Deebo Samuel involved. No Elijah Mitchell. He is questionable still. He's his third straight missed game. It's not good that it's coming on a Thursday and not a Sunday. Still going to go with the Niners because Tennessee has shown no sort of game plan as far as no Derrick Henry. They can't get anything going offensively.
FYI, watch out for the Indianapolis Colts.
When
we get to the playoffs. Okay, go ahead.
We were going to get to that soon, but Tennessee plays well at home, though, man. That's the only thing that concerns. They play well at home, but I do think, as to your point, I think the 49ers play well on the road. I think they'll win this game because they still feel like they have an outside shot of the division. They don't,
but Tennessee's got their back up against the wall too.
Indianapolis
is breathing down their neck, and they had it wrapped up 2 weeks ago. They were 2 games up. Now all of a sudden they're a game ahead.
You know what?
Of the Colts.
I'm going to take them. I'm going to take Tennessee because you know what?
See that?
Because you know what? No. Here's the thing. If Tennessee wins, it puts more pressure on Kansas City.
Yes, it does.
Kansas City needs that pressure because if they lose, they drop. They drop from number 1 down to number 2 at the middle. So yeah, I like Tennessee. See, I got it.
You're thinking.
Saturday, Christmas though. Cleveland at Green Bay.
Oh, good night.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
What
do you got that on there for?
I didn't make
What's
the
that game on there for? Huh?
Fox NFL Network. I guess we all going.
Is Jake Mullins going to be quarterbacking?
Hey, listen. Chiefs are still lucky he didn't play.
Yes.
Okay.
Very lucky.
Aaron Rodgers was not there.
But speaking of the Colts got the night game. Colts at Arizona. Arizona's going in the opposite direction. Sterling and I, we're both off that Kyler Murray bandwagon. Who you see winning this game?
I like the Colts. Colts are storming the gates right now, and they've got to keep pace with Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
So
going with the Colts. They were my pick to win that division to start the year.
Yeah.
I got to roll with them now.
I'm going with the Colts in this game. One, I didn't like what Arizona put on film last week against the Detroit Lions. You can't lose that game, and now you're in a proverbial tie. Well, now you're in a tie with the Rams. They lose this game. I think the Rams will win their game. I think when we get to it, and that'll put them in first place. And then this whole starship that Kyler Murray and them were on this season, they're gonna be one and done in the playoffs. So I think we all going the Colts on Sunday. We'll just go through these quickly. Detroit, Atlanta.
Oh, that's a toss-up. I'll take the Lions.
I'm Lions as well.
Lions.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. Yeah, Lions.
Jared Goff ever had back-to-back great games? I don't think so. Give it back.
Baltimore at Cincinnati. That's the Chiefs' next opponent.
Without Lamar Jackson, Baltimore's a shell of itself. And I think Cincinnati has got – I know you like him. I know he played great. He played great.
They almost won.
And he can run. Yeah, they lose 31-30.
Yeah.
No, I agree, but I still think it's
Baltimore's
on the
other
side.
Wall. I like Baltimore.
They're back up, but so Cincinnati.
But Cincinnati is at least leading the division now.
It don't matter. They want to stay there. That's all there is to it. They want to stay there, and they got the Chiefs coming in next week. So Baltimore has it right in front of them.
I got Baltimore. I have Baltimore.
See, Sterling's smart. At least he knows when to agree with me. I'm going to Baltimore.
I'll take the Bengals.
Okay. Well, we'll circle back around here next
week. I'm sure you will, yeah.
The Rams against the Vikings.
I like the Rams.
I do too.
The Rams have got the goal that Tampa Bay had last year. They're playing at our stadium. We're playing the Super Bowl at our stadium. Well, let's host the Super Bowl.
Chargers had that idea too. We had
that. Forget that. Well, you know what? There's a team I do not want to see in the playoffs. The Chargers. Nope. No thanks. Yeah. Not a third time.
I'm with you. I'm with you
because they played them toe to toe. But except for a few couple drop passes.
That's New Orleans, Tampa Bay.
Kick the field goal at halftime.
Yeah.
go for 2 on your final touchdown instead of going up 8 instead of 9. To me, you're doing analytics and you let that one slip by. That makes no sense whatsoever.
You got the Rams as well?
Of course.
Okay, I know it's your Super Bowl pick. I got the Rams too. Buffalo, New England. Now this is the redo. This is the electric boogaloo.
I'm going to take Bill Belichick. I'm going to take New England.
Oh, you're going for the sweep?
I'm going for the sweep.
Ooh,
give me the other Bill. The Bills. Plural.
I'm going for.
I got Buffalo in this game.
Belichick is in their brains.
I don't disagree with
the last time they beat him. But 3 times.
55 minor wins.
How many times? How many times did Buffalo throw that game?
Because
how many times they throw?
Right, 26.
Okay, great. New England threw 3.
Because Mac Jones can't throw the ball through the air. He would go backwards.
Hey, listen. After about 3 quarters, don't you feel? I really think they're going to run the ball in this game. I think maybe we better shore it up and try to stop them. It's not like they ran
it super efficiently either. It's not like
hey, who won the game?
Sure, they won it in a as long as there's no monsoon happening. The Bills.
Frank has snowing. Frank has a point. Yeah. Frank has a point, but I got to go with Buffalo because I think Buffalo. Look, as much as I talk about Tennessee winning. New England, they obviously need to win too, but I see. But obviously, the Buffalo's playing for the playoff life for real. They really are. Yeah. So I think their back is up against the wall. Plus, New England is going to be without their top running back, who was out in the close game as well. So I think that might have an adverse effect.
And a rookie quarterback. You worry about the rookie quarterback.
Jacksonville, New York Jets.
Who cares?
Exactly. New York Football Giants, Philadelphia. I'm going with Philly. Well, Philly.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, come on, man.
Come on, man. Philadelphia. Heck yeah. I mean, Big Charlie. Let's go.
Hey, hold on. Not to say, okay, got a Philadelphia football shirt.
It's just outside.
It's still hold it now. Remember, I'm from Pittsburgh. That's my hometown.
Oh, okay.
Yins? What are Yins talking about?
What are Yins? Tampa Bay. There'll be a lot of them out there Sunday.
Tampa Bay, Carolina.
I'll take Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. All right. Chargers at Houston. Chargers.
Yeah. They have to have it.
The Bears at Seattle.
Oh, Seattle.
Really? After what we saw last week?
It don't matter.
Okay.
Bears are in total disarray. And by the way, I hate those helmets.
I know.
Whew.
Okay, I'll go.
Where'd they get that from? Is that a Michigan?
I'll go with Seattle because it's you, Frank.
Okay, that's
right.
They're just picking against me. See that?
Denver at Las Vegas.
I'm going to take some off. I can agree with that old man.
Every once in a while.
Denver at Las Vegas.
I'll take Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, I'd take the home team in either one of these. I'll take the
Sterling.
Who's starting at quarterback for the Broncos?
It won't be Bridgewater.
Then if it's Drew Lock, give me Denver Broncos.
He's out. Bridgewater's out.
So then give me the Broncos to Drew Lock.
I'm gonna go with the Broncos only because
remember Drew Lock lost his job. Yeah. Okay, never mind.
I'm going
Teddy Bridgewater. Is that what you're saying?
No, to everybody that's in the NFL except him. they were picking
everybody
to be a quarterback. Come on.
I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos only because my daughter's boyfriend plays for the Broncos.
Ooh, how about that?
I know, right? But I'm gonna go with
you. That Darren's a Broncos fan. So at the end of the season,
remember
that when he picks. Remember that when he picks. No. Remember that, Sterling. Remember that.
No. What? The word is out. Hold on. The words are going out to the Chiefs players. When you play the Broncos, you got to run the score up because I don't like that. Sunday night game, Washington at Dallas.
Oh, I would hope the Cowboys.
You would hope.
I would hope the Cowboys would win that game. Yeah,
I got the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, Cowboys. There's a lot of bad games this week.
Well, fortunately, we won't have to watch a lot of them. I'll be stuck at the stadium unless they move the game, which I'm still kind of hoping for. I kind of want a Monday or Tuesday night game. Well, just give me something to do.
Yeah, but here's the deal: Tuesday night game screws you up for next week, and that's a huge game against Cincinnati. That really screws you up.
Still a Sunday, Thursday night type thing. Oh, man. If you look at it like that. No, I'm with you. But, man, Chiefs will be able to pull off regardless. So, and then, of course, Monday night's game, even though we're picking on Monday, but with you, Miami at New Orleans.
New Orleans. I'll take the Saints. Yeah, I'll take the
Saints. Dolphins have won six straight.
Six straight. Yeah,
six straight.
That bubble's going to burst. Oh, yeah. Bubble's going to burst. Come on.
Are you a Tua truther? You like Tua Tagovailoa?
Don't use that kind of language. Okay, leave respect somewhere else.
Yeah, you better respect.
I'm just saying, Tua's been good.
Tua's been very good. Tua's finally starting to live up to.
Well, because you know what? Because he don't have the whole Deshaun Watson hanging over his head no more. Now that trade didn't go through, they've won 6 straight games.
But see, you shouldn't let any of that crap get in your head in the first place. That's what you worry about. Okay, that's what you worry about. Because as soon as something else happens, something going to get in his head. Come on now.
That's Charmin Ultra Soft.
That's Charmin Ultra Soft. Oh man, Frank, before we get out of here, what's your what are you doing for Christmas?
It's a toilet paper joke, ultra soft joke.
I've got all families are here. My wife and both our families are here, so we're good. We're good in town. We're here. So it's
vaccinated, boosted, and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I guess they're all vaccinated. I don't know. Don't ask them those questions. How soon they are. I am. Not only do I have my 2 and a booster, I also just had my physical. So they gave me a flu shot. I said, wait a minute. I thought I just got a shot for all the flu. I thought I had all the flus. You mean there's more flu? Is there flu on top of flus?
Sterling, what are your plans for Christmas?
Going to my parents' house. My girlfriend and I are going there in the morning. Going to her parents' house down south. It's an hour
future
south.
In-laws?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going an hour south. Evening.
Going on my mom's, and I am watching football and basketball all day long.
There you go.
My girl and her daughter, they're flying out to Vegas for the game because so that means I get the house to myself.
Well, that's
nice and quiet.
What are the odds you go to the casino?
I don't need to go to the casino. I got my computer right here. Frank, thanks so very much.
Anytime.
Merry Christmas to you.
That. You Merry Christmas to you. And all the people out there listening today. Merry Christmas.
Yep. Blake, Merry Christmas to you as well.
Not Schneiders. No.
Not Schneiders. Well,
Frank hates me.
He probably has good reason. But be that as it may, to our listeners out there and our viewers out there, want to take the time. Cheryl and I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Have a safe and happy holiday this weekend. We'll be back on Monday whenever the Chiefs play. Hopefully Sunday. If they play Monday, we'll still do the show Monday, and I'll do it from the stadium. But until then, if you're listening to ESPN Kansas City, you're listening to Darren and Sterling. Have a great, great weekend. Be blessed.